Hello there, Aquarius. How are you today? Let's do a quick love reading. Let's take a look here and see what you want in your next relationship versus what Spirit thinks you should have, what you need. Any past influences. Let's take a look at who's coming towards you and your attitude towards the relationship and towards this individual, and any advice that you need to know from Spirit. Okay, bottom of the deck here, you've got Page of Cups, someone who is kind of looking for a new beginning, somebody that they are going to want to be emotionally invested in, right? So not necessarily someone that is just kind of fleeting, right, in passion. They will actually want to have an emotional connection with you, but kind of has that young vibe to them, right? Let's take a look here. Now, what you want is someone that's going to be obviously very attractive, very, very beautiful, very handsome, confident, knows their self-worth. Somebody that's, that can stand their own, right? You don't want somebody that's kind of a recluse, or somebody that's going to be too shy. You want somebody that's very outward facing. This individual is also going to be very focused. It can manifest. They seem to really have their stuff together because they seem to, whatever they decide they want to do, they get, right? So they're very driven and goal oriented. Spirit says that what you need is someone who is anchored to their past, that understands that, that basically has longevity, right, in their relationships. Somebody that is not going to just have a whole bunch of relationships, but would rather have, several, or if not just a few very meaningful and deep, long-lasting relationships. Somebody that has history in relationship. Not necessarily somebody that's kind of bouncing around all over the place, right? Short-term relationships. That's what Spirit says that you should not have. All right. So here in the recent past, you have had a lot of choices, right? You didn't quite know what direction to go to as far as what you want next. What do you want in life? You were forced to have to make some sort of decision about your life, the course of your life. And what's coming towards you is somebody that's going to be very stable, right? Somebody that's going to want a legacy, something that's concrete, basically a long future. So this individual that's coming towards you is not going to be messing around. Could be an earth sign, Capricorn, right? Taurus, Virgo. Your overall attitude here in the relationship, or with regards to relationship, is that it requires work. It requires both parties to really focus on it and really give their time to it. That's your overall attitude. And underneath it all, what you want is change, positive change in the relationship. Nothing that's going to be stagnant. You want something that's constantly evolving. You're a very, independent person, Aquarius, and so you want change all the time. You get really bored if things are, just kind of everyday ho-hum kind of thing. You're not about that kind of life. The advice you're getting here is that there might be times where you would feel as though you're trapped, because you are such an independent person. You don't like that feeling that you can't go do stuff, right? You want adventure. You want something new all the time. You want independence. And so there might be this challenge for you here where you're constantly feeling as though you're trapped, but really you're not. And what universe is trying to tell you here is that you're really not trapped. You're putting yourself in a situation where you feel as though you're trapped, but you're not. You can take off your mask there, and you can, or the eye coverings there, and you can take these bindings off, which aren't even on very tight, and see things for what they truly are, because you're not trapped. You're not a victim of your environment, right? Now here we've got the dynamic between the two of you is that your strength is going to be tested, right? That it's either going to flow easily or it's not, right? And what this is telling me is that in order for you to make this relationship work and for it to flow easily, is that you need to find other ways in doing things, into conquering any kind of the beast, right? Conquering any kind of conflict. That it's not just the set way of just kind of bulldozing your way into a relationship and fighting head on like this. This tells me that you're going to have to find that inner wisdom and learn how to do things a different way. You see this maiden here is controlling the beast, or taming the beast, or dealing with the beast here not by strength, but by something else, and you have that within you. And again, trust your intuition and find another way of doing things. It's not, because if your old ways of handling conflict, for example, didn't work out for you in your last relationship, universe is trying to tell you, find another way, because you know already that previous way didn't work. So why would you continue to do it, right? You need to mature from it and obviously find other ways. And now here, the situation, what you're going to do is that you're going to assess this individual, right? Because this person really wants to be grounded. They want security. They want something that they can really, hang their head on. I mean, this is not a fleeting person. they're gonna want to be settled down, and you're going to sit there and reassess the situation and say, I don't know, is this really what I want? Your attitude is going to be kind of like pulled back. You're going to try to be patient, and you're going to reassess, is this what you want? Because you have that free spirit, you have that need for independence, and you're going to step back and really reassess this relationship and its trajectory, and you're going to wonder, do I see my future with this person? Should I continue to give to this relationship the way I am? Because, if it's not something that I can see in my future, I'd rather stop, right? So you're going to have to reassess, and at some point, you're going to have to pull back and really search within, search your feelings, right? Try to lay back and just kind of meditate on it, really reach your higher self and find the answers within. Because you're going to know exactly whether or not you want to stay or go. And only you can find that out, right? Because you're going to need to take that time away to just really look at the entire picture. It's not just about, adventure anymore, right? Aquarius, right, see? And once you emerge from this state of rest and isolation, you're going to know exactly what you need and what you want for a future that's full of joy and harmony, right? Because ultimately, this is what you want, is the Ten of Cups. This is the ultimate of all good feelings that you can have about a relationship, your attitude towards a relationship. This is that fulfillment of all the possibilities in a relationship. But you do have to let go of the past. You have to find another way of thinking about the pain in the past and find the meaning of it, right? There is going to be some hurt and some despair here, but again, this is going to be a test of your fortitude, and you're going to need to rise above it and see things differently, approach it differently. You may have some conflict with this individual because, again, if you are going to end up with, an earth sign that wants to be stable, wants to be at home, for example, you may have conflict because you want to be going all over the place. You want to go on trips and vacations and see different things, but they want to stay home, for example. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if they're just wanting to stay home, there might be conflict. And you're not going to like it, and you're going to say exactly what you feel, and the other person's going to feel deflated and hurt. So what universe is trying to tell me here is that, yes, you will have conflict, just like in any relationship, but find different ways in handling the conflict, right? Search within and be more intuitive and figure out another way of communicating, because the old way probably didn't work very well. Because if you came in there really bullheaded, then it was all about winning the argument, not necessarily resolving it. It was about winning. Then that can really end and sour a relationship. Yeah. So here you've got, again, new ideas. Think of new ideas, new ways of approaching things, right? It's not about the old ways. Change your way and change your pattern of thinking so that you actually have harmony in the relationship. Yeah. Again, clarity and new ideas, new ways of thinking. I mean, you can't, you've got new thinking, new ideas, right? So universe is trying to tell you that. All right. Bottom of the deck here, again, with another pentacle, a Knight of Pentacle. And the Knight of Pentacle is, of course, another earth sign. But just understand that these people think very differently than you do. This person's going to be very grounded, and, you're going to obviously need to find another way to communicate because they do think very differently from you. Okay, Aquarius? So thank you so much for being here. I hope this helped. I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Bye-bye.